and I will give you the details if that's okay. So I'm going to do a little introduction of Oluchi Nwabua. I've been practicing her surname for the last few minutes, and I'm glad I've got it right. I'm just going to read a little bit about Oluchi because she is really incredible. So,
everyone can start making their way to the conference sessions, please.
thank you. So Oluchi is a sales development manager at Gartner in the technology sales function with a proven track record in driving sales and business development. Her expertise and passion encompasses leadership, building high-performing teams, and fostering professional development among associates in Gartner's sales and development program. Oluchi is dedicating in achieving excellence and delivering impactful results. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Oluchi with a massive round of applause.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Andrew. Guys, I'm a bit shy, but I'm also thankful to be here. So firstly, thank you to Abigail for giving me this opportunity to stand here in front of you. So as you know, my name is Oluchi Ozioma Nwabuba. He did practice, but did you do a great job? Yes, you did. You did. Well done for that. So yes, I do. I'm a manager at the moment within our technology sales function. I coach and support 7 direct reports to exceed on their monthly KPIs, as well as grow through our sales development program that we call SDP. So now I know when Andrew asked how many of you know Gartner, and I'm so happy not all of you know Gartner because today is a great day to explain what we do. So as an organization, we are a data-driven and advisory company where we empower C-level executives to exceed on their business targets. So we use our data analytics and tools to address their business challenges. So example would be your CFOs or CIOs. So within my technology function, we sell to CIOs, CISOs, and data analytic officers, right? So we help them address their business challenges, help them save time, money, as well as stay competitive in an ever-changing world. So does that give you a bit of Gartner? Do you understand that now? So would you be excited to know more? Yes. Yeah? Yeah? So you'll be talking to me then? Absolutely. Okay, so when we think about professional development, right, it is a great priority for us here in Gartner and for me personally. We are very passionate about giving back, especially to people starting their careers very early to build a very sustainable lifestyle and a successful career. Now, within Gartner, as Andrew mentioned, we are one of the sponsors, especially for today's track, professional development track, because we want everyone to grow and develop. It is hard sometimes not knowing where to start from, where to go from as well. Now, when I think about my journey in university, so I came to Gartner straight out of university, actually. However, the experiences in uni helped me. So things like joining the Consultant Society, and who knows ACS here? ACS, okay, represented. So the African Caribbean Society, I was one of the treasurers there as well. So now what this actually helped me do is gain leadership skills, communication skills, things like team collaboration. And that actually helped me land my first role at Gartner. And surprisingly, I never knew what Gartner stood for as well. I got approached on LinkedIn, and that's because I positioned my LinkedIn to be known, right, in the best way possible. So now today, my ask from me to you would be to lean in, to engage and participate, because within Gartner, our sales development program, there's so much plethora of progress there. I'm a living and breathing example of that. I started within the program, SDP. I worked my way up, and I am the best intentional manager I am today with my 7 lovely associates, and I want that for you too. So if you are interested to know about Gartner, please do not hesitate to come talk to us. We are downstairs by the careers booth, literally at the entrance, or come speak to me, Dwight and Abigail. They're waving there because we are hiring, right? I'm hiring within my team, and I definitely want to see your beautiful faces there. But yeah, thank you so much. Lean in, have a lovely time, connect, and be very intentional about your training today. Yeah? Thank you so much, and welcome.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Oluchi. So we're going to move on to the main workshop for today, which is about amplifying your voice, promoting personal brand and visibility. We have two amazing guests who I met just before you guys came in, and they've been giving us the most jokes. They're really nice. So the first person I want to invite up is Abigail Capel. Abigail is a program manager for Gartner's Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Talent Acquisition team. She works closely and acts as a bridge between Gartner and external organizations whose missions is to amplify the voice of those who have been historically marginalized. So let's give Abigail a round of applause. Amazing. And next up is Dwight, also known as Mr. Toussaint. Dwight is the senior recruiter at Gartner, based in London, and over the past 3 years, he's been instrumental in helping Gartner grow its research and advisory team by identifying and attracting top-tier analysts. So I'm going to hand over to these guys. Give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great intro.
Hello. Okay. Hi, everyone. Right, we're good. Oh, I can do the slides if you like. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for joining us today. It's a packed house in here. I wasn't expecting this many people, so it's so good to see y'all's faces. We will be talking to you today about amplifying your voice and building your personal brand, which is, you'll find out, extremely important as you continue to navigate the corporate space or as a professional. I'm joined here by Dwight. As mentioned, my name is Abigail Capel. I'm a program manager for our diversity, equity, and inclusion space. I am located in Massachusetts in the US. So I flew over here on Wednesday just to be with you all. I've been at Gartner for 5 years. And just to break the ice with everyone, wanted to put a fun dad joke in here. What do you call a not important elephant? Anyone?
Trust me, I was surprised when I saw this.
I heard it on TV and I couldn't stop laughing. A not important elephant is called an irrelevant. You'll remember that one tomorrow. All right, over to you, Dwight.
Yeah. Thanks for the intro, Abby. I'm sure these guys never expected to talk about elephants this morning, but here we are. Hi, everyone. I'm Dwight, and I've been working at Gartner for the past 3 years now. My role is working as a senior tech recruiter, so I help actually hire the analysts for Gartner. I've been doing that within the R&A team, and we pretty much try to always ensure when we're looking out for profiles, we're finding the right people. And to do that, we need people like yourself to make yourself known and to be seen. In terms of what we'll be speaking about today, we'll be running you through our workshop on amplifying your voice, and also I'll be having a round table afterwards, so I'm going to look forward to speaking to you guys about that. One of my things that I thought would be useful to help out with this elephant situation is just to find out, why do fishes actually try to avoid social media? Anybody can help me out here?
This one's really good, y'all.
Okay, cool. So the fishes avoid social media because they want to avoid getting caught on the net. Yeah, trust me, that was as rusty and dry as I thought it would be, but you know, it's just to break the ice. But anyway, we're gonna pass you back over to Abigail. She's gonna run you through our workshop agenda for today, and I hope you guys can enjoy that.
Actually, I'm gonna pass it back over to you to talk about Gartner.
Even better. So for those of you who don't know about Gartner, which is majority of the room, Gartner was founded in 1979, and we've grown into a global company with more than 20,000 associates across 85 offices. So before I joined Gartner, I had no idea who they were. When I saw some of these facts, 5.9 billion in revenue, my eyes lit up straight away, and I wanted to apply and find out a bit more about them. And when I found out a bit more about what they do, which is providing actionable insights to our clients and helping most of the industries out there, the biggest companies you can think of, our sales team will tell you we are supporting them. And our aim and our main goal is just, in a nutshell, to help our businesses solve their problems, right? Now, in terms of, us as a business, we're not only known for providing actionable insights, we actually also have our own culture internally, which we stand by, which is 10 principles. Could you put the slide on? And one that stood out for me was the fact that They embrace diversity. Trust me, I've applied for a lot of companies and I've looked around and I've applied and I don't see people that look like me. When I applied for Gartner, a few people that looked like me had me interested in a company. But not only that, it's also the way that we embody our culture together. So take a look at some of the listing that we have here and see what applies to you. Next slide, please. Right. Workshop agenda. Let's go.
Now you're passing it over to me. You're always running off the stage, Dwight.
Even more.
So today we'll talk about personal branding so that you can leave understanding the concept. You'll be able to hopefully post-conference discover your own brand, and then how to acquire the skills to communicate and promote your personal brand. So this session is pretty interactive, so please feel free to shout out answers, raise your hand, whatever you feel comfortable with, but would love to understand how you define personal brand. Anyone? Yeah? Yeah, maybe.
I think it's most important for your personal brand to be like congruent to who you are as a person. So, of course, there's like office politics and things like that, but it should be, for the most part, who you are.
I love that. Who you are. Anyone else?
I would say that a personal brand demonstrates to others what you stand for, what your values are, and what you can bring to a company or a project or any sort of professional circumstance.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are both right. You'll see on the screen, we actually have Jeff Bezos. So if you don't know, he is the CEO of Amazon. Yep. He hasn't resigned yet, right? I thought he did. Huh? Okay, and clearly need to keep up. But we have Jeff Bezos' definition of personal brand on the screen. It is your reputation, so really incumbent of what you both said, and the perception of you held by the world. It is made up of your personal attributes, your values, your drivers, your strengths, and your passion. So as you see, there's nothing negative on that screen. It's all positive things. And ultimately, to your point, it's what makes you, you. So in this room, I'm going to say this in this safe space, as we know, people tell us to put our heads down, do the work, meet our goals, do what we're supposed to do, and we'll move forward in our professional career. Well, we all know, looking around in this room, that may not be always the case. We have to do a little bit more, right? We have to build our personal brand so that when people are not in the room, they have something positive to say about us so we can then move forward, right? So what are some ways in which your personal brand is important? So like, what are some of those situations where you want a personal brand that's positive? Anyone?
If I'm buying trainers, I need to know that the personal brand looks good for me. So Nike, for example.
What?
Personal brand, Nike. Just do it.
Oh, Nike. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Sorry, Nike. Yeah.
There's been a couple times where proper English and American English, I'm struggling a little bit.
You lose that battle today. It's definitely Nike.
Yes. So thinking about Nike, they have a personal positive brand, right? Also, as I mentioned, when you're not in the room. So when you're thinking about promotions, job offers, when you're thinking about raises, things like that are happening in the corporate space, you're not necessarily in the room, right? They are taking your reputation. What do they hear about you from your peers, from your managers? They're taking all that into consideration when they're thinking about those things. So how does your personal brand set you apart? It's really a business strategy. It determines your area of expertise. It increases your visibility. It sets you apart from your peers. And ultimately, people buy from strong brands, such as Nike. People will buy or invest in you. So we're going to talk briefly about discovering your brand. What do you see on the screen? I know they're positive adjectives, but what stands out to you? What words?
You can shout it out.
Yeah, feel free. Likeable, trustworthy, confident, determined. My favorite word up there is consistent. Ambition. I love it. What was it? Responsible. And again, as you see, nothing is negative up here. We all have negative traits. I probably have this many that I can name about myself. But what's important is when you're building your professional brand or your personal brand, you want to concentrate on what's positive, right? You can change and work on the negative aspects anytime, any day. That's really important. When you find those things or you receive feedback, right, you can really truly hone in on that and work on it. So we just want to concentrate on the positive things. All right, to discover your brand, I know we're limited on time because I want to make sure that you can connect with our leaders for our roundtable following this. So what I would do is I would take a picture of this screen, I would write it down. You'll want to ask yourself these questions post-conference. How do people benefit from working with you? What are your goals? What are you known for? What are your strengths? So this is taking what other people think of you as well as what you think of you and what you want to be known for, combining it all. And we're going to talk about how then to define your personal brand. I'm going to pass it over to Dwight to talk about that.
Thank you. Right, so you've now worked out what your brand actually is and what qualities stand out for you. So when I was in the beginning of my career, I always wanted to be known as a person that was focused on sales, customer service, and someone that was reliable and punctual. But the main thing is you can have all those qualities, but you need to put pen to paper. You need to have your own statement and be known for something. And a brand is nothing if you've got no personal statement to back that. And it needs to be not only something that you think about, but something that's transferred to the world. Where would I see your personal brand statement? On your CV, on your LinkedIn, even in person, when you're going to be at the conference today, you're going to be networking. Everyone is going to have their own personal brand statement, their own elevator pitch, and I hope you guys can put it out there to share it to the world. On our screen, we have, from our sales associate from the London team, one of his personal statements was, he wants to be known as a trusted partner supporting individuals to achieve their career and development aspirations, an expert in management training and leadership development. It sounds like a Lucci, but my question to you guys is, when you see that statement, what stands out to you? What does that person look like? Anybody?
We can see from the word trusted that integrity is probably a part of this person's character.
Yeah.
And when we see an expert, that means they have a lot of experience and that they've helped other people achieve the success that they're advertising.
Yeah, that's a good response. For me, as a recruiter, I go through hundreds of CVs throughout the week, and when I look at people's bio, it helps me know who they are, where they're going, and what they want to be known for. And they could have all the traits, all the best skills, all the degrees in the world, but if they can't articulate who they are, most of the time those CVs don't get recognized, right? So for me, when I look at that, I think this person has done the right, progress to get the statement out there. But people like myself, sometimes I get writer's block. So have you guys ever been trying to write an essay for uni or trying to write an email and you're just sitting there thinking, what the hell should I say, right? Now, before back in the day, I would use a thesaurus. If you guys are old school like me, you would have started off with that. Yes. And now I'm taking advantage of technology. So ChatGPT is my best friend at the moment. Artificial intelligence is something we all need to take advantage of, right? And I'm not saying that it's going to be completely right. Please don't listen to ChatGPT all the time. Put your asterisks in because it will come back with something that you don't want to see.
Make your edits.
Yeah, please. Please make your edits. So before, now you've got your qualities out there. You've used ChatGPT, like I've said. You want to be able to test it first. So the question you need to ask yourself is, does this statement motivate me? Does it distinguish who I am? And does it align with where I want to go in my future role? And a good way for you to do that is to look for jobs. I don't know, there could be a job out there that's paying 200K and you've got a 5-year plan as to how you're going to get there. Look at those job descriptions and see those words and try to align your career and the wording of where you are right now to follow that journey. That would be my point there. Next slide, please. So we've got our brand, we've got our statement, but now it's time to, again, communicate that brand, right? So the funniest thing is everybody here is being subconsciously right now, you're promoting your brand without you even knowing. by the way you're wearing your clothes. Everyone in the room does look like they dressed up nice today. Thank you for making the effort, to be honest. Not even by the clothes you're wearing, but also your social media, right? I think a lot of people take more care and pride on their Instagram than they actually do with their own CV, right? So my question to the room is, when was the last time you updated your CV versus with the last time you updated your Instagram? Recently. Which one, your CV or your Instagram? Oh,
That's great.
I've got a good room in there. If I was in another room, it would be a different thing, right? But in all honesty, we take pride in our social media, on our personal pages. People put filters on their Instagram photos. Do the same and do the same thing with your actual CV and LinkedIn, right? There's other opportunities for you to showcase your brand, your email addresses. When I first started off, my email address was something like Big Dwight. Yeah, please.
Mine's Big Brown Eyes 20 with a Z.
With a Z, right? To this day, I still see crazy emails. If your email is a bit funky and crazy, please change it to make it professional. No one's judging you, but that's what they say, but they actually are. Everyone is watching you. And the thing is, as I said, people form their own opinions about you, right? Without you even knowing it. So as soon as you walk in the room, you've already made a statement. That's your brand. That's who you are. That's how you represent yourself. Today, please take advantage of the way you promote your brand when you're networking with everyone. Think about how you want to be perceived. Ensure that your brand is memorable, and just try to lead in the right direction.
You know, something that I just heard the other day, updating your CV, back to that point.
Yeah.
I heard you should update it like every 3 months, right? So keeping track of everything that you're doing, big, small, anything that you can imagine, keeping it in like a document so that you can update it very easily every 3 months. I just wanted to throw that tip out there.
Yeah. And that resonates with me a lot. And when we was doing this project together, one of the things that I did recognize as to how I was actually able to work for Gartner, the way I had my LinkedIn positioned, I made sure that, you know, I was able to be seen, as Alucci said, but I did that by having recommendations on my profile. So anything I did, which was good within work or colleagues and clients I've worked with, I've ensured that they've left me with a recommendation. If you go on my LinkedIn, I didn't pay these people to leave these recommendations. Yeah,
I would think so. He's got a lot.
Maybe. But the reason why I'm mentioning that is because having your brand is cool. Yeah, you can have your own brand. You can have your own personal statement. But the hardest part isn't about creating it. It's about actually maintaining it and keeping it consistent, because you're always going to be evolving as a person, right? And following these tips here can definitely help with that. So as I said, asking for feedback. It doesn't just have to be the review that you have halfway through the year or towards the end of the year. It could also be as soon as you finish a project, ask someone to just give you some feedback via email. Please collect the evidence. Email only, right? Because if you've got it on paper, it's true. If someone just tells you verbally, I think you did a great job there, it's not enough. That can just go away, right? So when I'm working projects personally myself and I finish working it, even this one, Abigail, please leave me a review. Right?
Will do.
Thank you. I'll be taking that feedback with me, and it's going to promote my brand further. Another thing that I like out here is thinking like a brand. So if you think about how you want to be represented, do you want to be known as the person, you know, that's always on time, that's very punctual? Do you want to be known as the best dressed like Alucci and Abigail? Or do you want to be known as, you know, a leader? Yeah. You guys have come here, and that's a statement within itself, from coming to BYP, signing up, doing the workshops, and actually trying to network to further your career. That's a big step, but there's more steps for you to take. And one way to do that is keeping your goals set and being goal oriented. And for me, I will continue to try to do that, because it's the way that, you know, we want to be able to function to move forward.
I'm going to just add a point here. I like to piggyback off of Dwight here, but asking for feedback is extremely important. I will say it's the most, for me, uncomfortable piece of working in corporate. You're going to get feedback from your managers, from your direct reports, from your peers. It can be extremely uncomfortable, especially when they give you that constructive feedback. Sometimes you have to check yourself at the door and say, am I ready to receive this feedback? And then receive it, and then take a minute or a day, 48 hours, whatever you need to do to digest it, and then you can move forward with a conversation about it. But I will say it's probably the hardest thing as a professional to actually sit down, digest that constructive feedback, but it is something that's going to propel your career. If you can take that feedback, you can action that constructive feedback into something good, positive. You can work on that relationship with that person, and or work on that overall topic, whatever it may be. It will propel your career exponentially.
What's your personal brand?
That's
Anybody?
he's gonna put you on the spot already. So that's what we have for our workshop. We'll open it up for about 5 minutes of questions, and then we'll have round table. So I'll show that screen in just a moment, but we'll open it up for about 5 minutes of questions.
Guys, don't be shy. Ask a question. Yeah.
When did you first learn the importance of promoting or creating your own personal brand?
You asking me? I was just making sure. I've always been conscious of it since I was young. I mean, it starts from when your parents tell you to dress neatly because they're going somewhere, right? So it starts with your appearance. It starts with just the way that you want to be perceived. It could be within anything. But when it came to my professional working life, I started off in sales. I worked in an external agency helping companies across Europe, in Germany, the German market. I don't speak a word of German, right? But I still had to put myself in those positions and try to speak their language. And that goes a long way versus somebody that's not even trying. So I would just say you need to mirror your audience as well. You can't just expect everyone to perceive you in the right light. If there's a dress code to go to somewhere, follow the dress code. If there's a time for you to be there, try to be there on time. But more importantly, for me personally, just to answer your question, I've always just been that way, and I will continue to try to do that.
Any other questions?
Are people judged in the first 10 seconds?
That's what they say.
Yep.
Yeah. And even your CV, right? When recruiters get CVs, it's like a proven fact. They spend, 20 seconds glancing at your resume, and then really digging into it if they feel that you are aligned to that role or the organization. So it is a very split second that you're creating that first impression.
Yeah. On that note, when it comes to CVs, because as I said, this is what I do for a living. Keywords are very important, and how you're putting your profile together is something that we would try to look out for. So trying to keep it to a certain standard of, you've seen CVs that are 27 pages. No recruiter is reading 27 pages, right? If it's put in a way where it's readable, digestible, we would pay attention to that person and try to make something work. But yeah.
Dwight, as a recruiter, how often do you look at their CV versus their LinkedIn?
I go straight to the LinkedIn if there's a link on there. But what's the saddest part is the CV is always good. The LinkedIn doesn't really give anything away for some reason. I feel as though some people are very shy to share their achievements. I know if I've done something good at work, I'm going to put it on my LinkedIn. Like this conference today, that's definitely on my LinkedIn. But if someone isn't providing the same sort of quality between their LinkedIn and their resume, it's not really going to hurt them too much, but you get way more exposure on LinkedIn. Us recruiters, we would rather look at someone's LinkedIn because we use tools like LinkedIn Recruiter to find great talent. I was found on LinkedIn before I came to Gartner. I didn't put my CV out there. They found me on LinkedIn. I had to send them my CV. So we're working in a new world where this needs to be something that you need to be conscious about. As I said, just take more pride in your LinkedIn. Try to be descriptive. Have that personal brand statement there, and you can get more results.
I love that. So we have 10 minutes left, so we're going to break out into some round tables.